thewellnesscouch.com, streaming wellness into your lives. This is Up for a Chat with Cyndi O'Meara, Carren Smith, and Kim Morrison.
Here we are, up for a chat about the hottest topics that are important to you, inspiring you to awaken the change within. I'm Carren Smith.
I'm Kim Morrison.
And I'm Cyndi O'Meara.
And guess what? We have world famous. Hold on to your hats, girls and boys. Hold on. We've got world famous, world renowned, bloody legend and amazing friend Amanda Gore in the studio with us today.
Who is that person?
And I'm sorry, I have to put a little bit onto that.
Okay, go.
And I believe the biggest stand-up comic ever.
I think so.
I do. I think you've lost your calling, although you do stand-up comic with meaning. I just
with
love,
meaning.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
lovely.
You are brilliant.
I wouldn't think so.
I'm a little bit, you know what? When I'm a little bit, what am I going to do? I go onto your channel on YouTube and watch you.
Really?
Yeah, I only need a couple of minutes.
You got a life.
I only need a couple of minutes.
Gotta get a life.
And you make me laugh so hard.
Yeah.
I've always laughed at you though.
That's wonderful. And folks, that's what real friends are for. I'm feeling much better.
I'm
And I'm
This
sorry,
one's
but
on
you've
motivation,
actually,
is
I
it?
think you've actually offended a few comedians out there. I'd say a lot of comedians do their comedian work
Yeah,
with
they
meaning.
do. They do.
So yeah, just
Yeah, I do. I agree
The voice
with
of
you.
reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is the voice of reason.
She is today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
boy,
been
yeah.
very reasonable
Have
today.
you ever?
Yeah,
what
yeah.
happens when you were immune boost.
Yeah, that's right.
Seriously, guys, for you listening to these three, they're extraordinary women. And they look fabulous. You know, you can't see them, but oh my gosh, they look fabulous.
Speak for yourself, sweet
Oh,
pea.
get real.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you, Amanda, in the
Double
last
your age.
week's podcast, I took my top off.
She did. Showed
And
her
then-
orange bra.
And Cyndi pulled her dress up and showed us how she's got a waist.
And my skirt was so tight I couldn't show them my knickers. But that's
Gosh.
because they call me tart.
Okay.
I'm
what
sorry,
are you gonna
listeners. Yes, nothing like that, trust me. I'm nearly 60 and it's not pretty.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it is tart.
Yeah.
So we
So,
decided
back to normal.
Yeah, back to normal.
So we really decided that Amanda she's been on our hit list right from the very beginning since we started doing the podcast. All three of us all said, when are we going to get Amanda? When are we going to get Amanda? And it was so amazing because while we were all doing the last podcast last week, Kim and Amanda were in touch via text message. So if Kim sounded distracted, that's what she was doing.
Sorry.
So we quickly decided that we would get Amanda in for this week. So for our listeners, all you've got to do is just Google the name Amanda Gore and then stand back in awe is all I can say.
Oh.
Oh,
I'm a
yeah. Well, that's
poet.
only say. Anyway, normal type folks, you won't be in awe, but you might get a few laughs.
Yeah, you'll get a lot of
On
good
the
laughs.
YouTube channel.
Definitely.
In awe of Gore.
Oh, Gore. I thought that was quite
And I
cool.
think that was Al Gore.
Do you know, the first time I ever saw you speaking, you were speaking on a stage, there were thousands of people in the room, and I was with Lisa Curry. And I remember her saying, I'm going to meet that woman and I'm going to be on the same stage as her.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
really?
And she did. She
I
did
that
end
old?
up. Yeah.
And she's astonishing. Oh my gosh. I was on the stage with her in Sunny Orange. As I recall, we had hit the big
time.
And she was phenomenal, telling her story. I actually didn't realise how inspiring she was and everything that she had done. Because she's just, talk about motivation, because this is what we're talking about, isn't it?
Yes.
Motivation? Yeah. Well,
We think.
Well, we think. We picked that out of
not
there.
just
We decided,
removing clothing.
no. Oh, well, we could go back there again.
Well, maybe not.
No, we decided that as a follow-on from last week's podcast, because we were talking a lot about a recent radio interview with Shani and Julius Keyser, who've been on the show previously. And we were talking about a radio interview with a lady by the name of Chrissy Swan and how that all played out. And we really wanted to get our listeners' feedback in terms of whether they thought that being fat was offensive or being fat was something to defend or to be okay with.
Oh, right.
So then as a follow-on from that, we thought, well, motivation would be a really good conversation to talk about because we're motivated to do one thing or to do the other. We're motivated to go towards having health and fitness and, having a focus and a priority in our life around health and fitness or not. And we're motivated towards being, and even just between the three of us, the contrast with us is Kim's priority is her exercise and Cindy's priority is her food and my priority is my work. So when it comes to food and exercise for me, I've really got to work on it. So it's not my primary motivation, it's not my priority. So I've got to, it's harder work for me.
Whereas that's where I start my day. I get up, I go straight to the beach, I either walk or swim, and I have coffee, and I do like to have a coffee by myself because I have so many books I want to read. So I like to have a bit of a read, then get home and have the best breakfast. I prepare my lunch. So everything happens for meals for me the minute I wake up. Whereas some people, they go straight to their
computer,
which Carren does.
4 o'clock in the morning.
Gosh, that's very early.
It's very early. I'm starting to notice my eyes hurt.
But the first 4 o'clock in the morning is such a good time of the day to work. So creative and so uninterrupted. And
I think part of the problem is getting into a rhythm and a routine. So, Cindy, how long does your rhythm take? Because it's a real rhythm.
Oh, so I'm up at 6, at the beach by 6:30, home by 7:30, 8 o'clock. Made all my meals by 9 o'clock, at work by 9:30, probably. But I can do it quicker. But that's my rhythm most mornings. Like if I have to be at the airport at 4:30, of course things change. And I do all my preparation of meals beforehand. I may swim that night before or I walk the night before so as I feel like I haven't missed out.
Yeah.
Because to me it's like missing out. If I don't do it, I feel like I've really missed out. So that's my priority. But then when I had children, it was very different.
Yes.
So this is my time of life. This is my rhythm in my life, and this is what I love. And in actual fact, if I don't get it, I'm actually cranky.
Well, you see, when you interrupt her, one of the things that I talked about in the book on joy is the rhythm and routine of life. The moon has cycles, the body has cycles, everything has cycles. And if we don't try to create some rhythm and routine, for example, gratitude, if you get into the habit of writing in a gratitude journal every night, it becomes a habit after a while. It's a rhythm to start off with, it's a routine, and then it becomes a habit. So I think a lot in terms of motivation comes down to the original concepts where you either move away from something that's unpleasant or you move towards something that's what you want. And they kind of limited it to that, which is important and good to know, but it's much more complicated. And life is very complicated. All three of you have different lifestyles. And I'm older than all of you and still no children, but still travel a lot and still having house renovations.
Still? Really?
But it's been fairly quick, actually. It's just 5 months. And very disruptive to the rhythms and routines.
has the budget blown out?
Oh, yes. Anyway, that's another disruptive thing, but it's very good for motivation. I will be working till I'm 3,000. But I live in a lovely house if I ever see it again. So, if we go back to...
I do love your house.
Yeah, it's even better now. We go back to rhythm and routine. I think it's far more complicated because rhythm and routine helps you to start to get into a habit and rid yourself of the idea it's 21 days. It's a whole lot of new research that's come up where it's 66 to 200 days to establish a new habit.
That lets me off the hook enormously.
Well, for all of you out there, that's going to, 66 days minimum.
It makes sense, though, because I can try to form a habit in 21 days, particularly for my exercise. I really try hard, Kimmy, I do.
Yeah.
21 days does not cut it for me.
But this is why I like to train towards a marathon or train towards a triathlon or something. Have a goal because it's not an 8-week or a 21-week. It is a 5-month thing.
Yeah.
And then for me it becomes such a part of my life I can't imagine it without it.
And that takes a lot of discipline too.
It does.
So you're talking in terms... It's sometimes interesting to separate discipline from motivation. Some people are just very disciplined, and I'm quite disciplined. Cindy, you look at it as if you missed out. I look at it as if, I didn't go for my walk today. I've done nothing but sit, I've piled up all the toxins. I've jammed up all my fascia because I'm a physio. So I go to the body side of things. I go, I get pain. If I don't move, I'm going to get pain. So I get to the end of the day and I've sat on my arse all day. Sorry, I hope I can say that. My bottom. And then I think I have to get out. I have to go for a walk. But I've been doing, and I usually go to the beach in the morning, but with the renovations, we have 700 builders at the house by 7 o'clock, and so that rhythm was interrupted. So that my motivation goes back to keeping myself healthy and well, and I know that I have to keep moving to do that. But, you know, so much, I was thinking about it as I came down to the interview, so much more comes into play when you talk about motivation. And one is fears, another is how you feel about yourself, and there's a third one, which will come to me as soon as this menopausal moment.
So let's go. One was fear. The second was...
how you feel about yourself. Because I teach that the single most important thing in life is how you feel about yourself.
Interesting.
Which determines how you make everybody else feel around you. So if you look at everything in life, most of the people who are overweight don't feel good about themselves. And so they're not inspired to, it's either a protection or they're not interested enough in looking at what they... How many people does this go to? Because I could mention a little story about my husband last night.
It goes to everyone except our husbands.
Excellent. In that case...
My husband never listens to it, so if my husband doesn't, then you might be...
Right, no, I won't tell him I did it.
Yeah, good
anyway,
idea.
So
Just don't let Russ and Matt tell him either.
That's right. I hope Russ and Matt hear them too. Do that. Anyway, so, well, a person I know well...
That's very close to you that you may live with?
No, well, could, possibly.
You sleep with?
But stop! Trying to make this anonymous. Anyway, this person I know very well, who knows my thoughts about diet drinks, like diet, can I say a brand name?
Yeah,
go for
Pepsi,
it.
walks into the house. I used to find them hidden, you know, empty bottles hidden, because I would stab like a bottle if I could. That's how much I hate this stuff. And, you know, I don't know how many articles I've sent him and how many times I have said, do not drink those drinks. They make you fat. They're full of aspartame. They're full of a neurological toxin. You know, drink enough of it and you too can die. Fat and unhappy and unwell with all sorts of neurological diseases. And he walks in after a day at golf and he's got a bloody great big bottle of this stuff. Well, how often? I thought I was being subtle. How many of those are you going to be drinking a month? One every 2 weeks. What for? You know what it does to you, blah, blah, blah. And in the end, I just badgered him into saying, well, throw it out then. So normally I wouldn't have, but I did. So I poured the whole bottle down the sink. And
we're all the same.
Yeah, in terms of motivation, I was very strongly driven to do that, but he isn't. He knows what it does to him. But he uses food as a crutch. And it's when he doesn't feel so good about himself. He's going on a diet, you know, he puts on weight, then he does this massive crash diet and loses a ton of weight and goes back on again and blah, blah, blah. Cycle that we all know is not good, but a lot of people do it.
Yeah.
But essentially, at the core of it, he does it at the times he's not feeling good about himself.
Do you think that that's where the motivation comes in? You hit rock bottom or you hit a place that you really aren't happy with and that's what motivates you to the diet?
For some people.
And
See,
then
that's
you do the diet.
moving away.
Right, but then what I'm understanding, what I'm learning is that a lot of people will do a diet, but they actually don't visualise themselves or understand or can even picture themselves, let's say, in a bikini or a running outfit or, in his case, maybe Speedos.
Ooh.
Ew. But when they get there is when they have the opportunity of perspective that is actually an opportunity that they could do it. But what we're finding in a lot of our feedback with some of our podcasts and things is that people then sabotage and go back to the way they were, sometimes worse than what they were. Why do you think that happens?
Again, I think it's how you feel about yourself. Because, and their fears. So the three core fears in life are, one, I'm not worth loving, or I'm not good enough. So a lot of women get I'm not worth loving, and a lot of men get I'm not good enough. And the second one is that I'm unsafe in some way. And the third is a fear of death, abandonment, or separation. So they're the three core fears that underpin everything. So you can look at all the other superficial fears, but those three underpin them. So if you don't feel you're worth loving or you don't feel you're good enough, there are 10 trillion different ways people will react to that. But the core is to find a way. It's so corny, I know, but really it is about loving yourself. And the reason everybody thinks being in love is the most wonderful thing on earth. You know, you meet some new person and go, oh, it's so wonderful, I'm so happy, oh my God, I'm so happy, I love my life, everything's fabulous, it's just wonderful. And it is. And it's exactly the same life, but all of a sudden it's wonderful because you've met this person that you love and they love you, and you think it's being in love that's made the difference. But it isn't. When you fall in love with somebody else like that, at that stage in your life, you actually fall in love with yourself. Because they are looking at you saying, oh, you're everything I've ever wanted. You're so perfect. You're so wonderful. Oh, I love you. Just no, don't change anything. You're just perfect.
And for the first time, you probably believe it.
Well, each time you fall in love, you know, you get to that stage. But what happens is you actually see yourself as who you truly are. The wonderful spiritual being, all the potential you are, you see yourself in your best light. But what people don't realise, and I talk about this on stage sometimes, is that imagine a human split in two vertically, so you've got a front and a back. Well, the front is you, the astonishing being of light that you are, the spiritual being that you are. And you are that wonderful person they've fallen in love with. You do have all these qualities. You can be all the things they think you are, because you are them. But we have warts. We're humans. We have warts on the back. And the trouble is that for about 12, 18 months, if you're lucky, 2 years, that in-love phase lasts. But then one day, one or the other turns around and the other one goes, ew, look at those warts. Ew. And then you see their warts. You go, well, you got warts too. And then you go, ew, I can see my own warts. Ew, I suck. And there you go. Back to the square one where I'm not worth loving. And then, God forbid, they leave you or dump you or do something like that, because then you get the trifecta. You get the I'm not worth loving, or I'm not good enough, I'm unsafe now, and because I don't know what's going on, and then death or abandonment or separation. So I don't know exactly how it ties in, but I'm pretty sure that's at the core of most things that motivate us or don't. And then people give up. They become hopeless. You know, oh, I'm never going to find anyone. I'm so, like, nobody's ever going to love me. I can't tell you the number of times I've had a man tell me I'm intimidating. What about you three?
Yeah, a few. A little bit. They've never.
What?
I've never had that.
What?
Yes, you have.
No,
Or
I
maybe
did.
it's
Sit.
No one's ever said that I'm intimidating. I don't think.
No, I've never had that.
Neither have I, actually.
Oh, yeah.
but I've
nor have
heard-
I then. Liar.
Liar pants on fire.
But I think what was interesting for me saying that is that I've heard people say that about them.
Oh, okay.
I've heard women say that.
Yeah.
Women have said that.
What, to you?
Yeah.
Well, you just said they haven't.
No, men haven't.
Ah.
But women have said that.
They're intimidated by...
Or that they think that men are intimidated.
Right.
What's interesting is that my daughter put on Facebook last night. So she's down in Manly amongst all the surfers, the world champion surfers. She's surfing down there. And she says, it's very intimidating down here. And somebody came back and said, they're probably intimidated by you, Tanya.
Oh.
Yeah. But she sees it very... Because when you see her, you know... People turn their head to look at her. She's the package. She's got everything. Like, she's doing a competition Oh, wow. We're all looking at a photo. She's doing a competition in Manly. There are international people there. There are international broadcasters. The whole thing is live on the net. So I'm watching it. I'm watching it on the net because she's competing, and I can't be
As
there.
in surfing?
In surfing, yeah, and I can't be there. And she's wearing her blue outfit and her normal cute little bikinis, and she's walking towards the beach for her competition, and the two commentators, the camera's on her, walking down the beach backside of her, and the two commentators stop, and one of them says, "Now that's a nice view."
Wow.
And then the other one says, "Too right, that's a good view." And then they continue on with the competition, and I'm thinking, they're talking about my daughter, you know? So she has no idea.
And she doesn't.
Well, is she
doesn't
talking
know
about
that.
it in terms of her capacity to surf?
Yes.
Or, right. So she wasn't talking about how she looked necessarily, or was it the whole package, do you think, that was intimidating?
No, what's intimidating to her are all the... She wants to be that surfer that is world class. That's what she wants. And then... But I said to her,
She doesn't know her own
She
potential.
doesn't
She
know
doesn't
her
know
own
her own
potential.
magnificence.
Nobody knows their own magnificence and their own potential, but we all seem to see it, don't we?
Yeah.
Like, I see it in every one of you, I see it in my daughter, but I'm like, I don't figure out how she can't figure it out. Like, everyone turns and looks at her, and I know they're not looking at me.
But there's a fine line between confidence and arrogance.
Yeah.
And I think as we're growing, we try to learn and fit where we fit in the model, because people love confident people, but then there's a moment where all of a sudden it's like, oh, they're quite arrogant.
Yeah.
Or, what?
Great comment. Yeah. Well, humility goes a long way. And I think you can... Again, it depends on how you feel about yourself, because arrogant people and people who appear super confident really don't feel good about themselves.
No, I was just about to
and
say
so
the
they
same.
try to make themselves seem better, or,
Yeah.
well, I've done this, and they talk about themselves a lot. And there's... To have true humility, I think, it doesn't mean to put yourself down and think that you're nothing, because that's a disservice to everybody. But it's, and I think this is somewhere in the book, I can't remember which chapter it's in, it might be compassion and grace, having compassion for yourself. And it's about feeling good enough about yourself to forget about yourself and see the beauty of others and see the true spirit in others. And from seeing the magnificence in others comes true humility. Because we're no better or worse than the person next to us, no matter how many trappings they have or how much stuff they have. We're all these astonishing spiritual beings inside human temples. It's just some of us see it as a temple and some don't.
And some treat it as a rubbish tip.
Yes.
By what they put into it,
Yeah.
and others see it as something quite sacred, and that they're very, very, we were talking about this before, and I'm like going, what is it that makes us so particular about what we consume to the point where I just won't eat a food that I know causes a problem with me?
I think it's called consciousness.
Do you think that's what it is, consciousness?
I do. Most people... Ken knows... Oops.
Oh, there goes the name.
That person who was close to... Yes, I was close to. He knows.
No, she said the operative word there being was.
Because by the time he's listened to
Yes,
this, it will be a past.
It's a shame we've gone through the renovation together to him. Anyway, so he absolutely knows all the dodgy bits about drinking diet drinks, because I've sent him more stuff. I'm sure he hasn't read it all, but he might have read the first couple because we were in love in those days. And it was that early phase.
Yeah, where you were perfect.
He did anything, yeah. And I asked him to. And now he just doesn't care, because he's lost the consciousness of the consequences. And I think you have to be conscious to be aware of the consequences. That sounds very intelligent, doesn't it?
It does.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bamboozle you. I'm just full of crap, really.
I think it's actually a very enlightened view. I was speaking the last couple of days interstate, and I was talking about perspective. And what I was suggesting was how we can all have a perspective on what's real. So if you think about the caterpillar just for a second, you think about the little caterpillar. His perspective about life is that his belly should touch the ground, and he's all that in a bag of chips and super strong because he can bulldoze over a blade of grass. So to him, that's the world, that's reality. And so through his two eyes, that's his perspective of what's real. Then we take the human who's bigger than that, who has a very different perspective because we see more. And we say, well, that's not reality, that's not the world. Your perspective is flawed because it's so limited. But then you put somebody in a satellite who's looking at us, looking at the caterpillar, and we say, well, actually, you're both wrong because you think that the reality is just what you see through your own two eyes. But really, there's a much grander perspective that just through your limited view you can't see. And I think that the whole concept of that is that we have a limited view in terms of what we believe about ourselves because we actually don't see the whole truth. We don't see the whole potential of what's possible. We only see through what we see through our own eyes. So I say to you, Kim, you're amazing, extraordinary, but if you don't feel like it in that moment, that's going to go in one ear and out the other. So in my perspective, you're extraordinary. In your perspective, you're not in that moment. What if neither of us is right? And what if there's a grander perspective that neither of us can actually see, but the satellite sees it? Or the more spiritual version of ourselves sees it if we want to go more metaphysically. There's a much grander perspective that's accessible to all of us if we were only prepared to play at that realm. And I think the way that we see ourselves and how we believe in ourselves is all flawed because we don't believe in we don't have any certainty. We don't have certainty of the results that we're going to get. Therefore, we don't believe in ourselves to achieve it.
Is that why people constantly go back into default mechanisms or go back into behaviours that are always
habits? There's a whole lot of stuff in neuroscience now, and they can even prove that there are loops within the brain, negative loops. And these are your old habitual negative habits or patterns. And most of us are living lives of habits and patterns, ruled unconsciously by fear. So they're unconscious. They don't even know they're doing it. Ken likes the taste of Diet Coke, Pepsi, whatever it is, and just drinks it when he feels bad, or drinks it when he wants to rebel, really, and have something
to annoy you.
Yes, to annoy me. And I think you've hit on the real motivation there. Lucky I came to this session. And now, menopausal moment. What was I talking about? Anyway, so if we go back to... Where was I?
You're talking about the negative loops.
Thank you. So the negative loops are in the brain, and they're so embedded. And the really bad news is that when you complete that negative behaviour again, the brain releases a little hit of serotonin, which gives you a high, which gives you a reward for repeating the bad behaviour. So the bad news is that if you do the bad behaviour, you really feel a bit better about yourself, or feel a bit better because you've got the serotonin.
You had like a drug.
Yeah, it is. It's a drug. It's the same as heroin in many ways. And to fight against that, to fight and reprogram your brain for at least 66 days to nearly 200 days, takes a lot of, as you're talking about, discipline, motivation. But it's really about the desire to make a change in your life. And it's whether you feel you have the capacity to do it, I suspect, in many ways, which then ties back to how you feel about yourself. You know, it's I've done this 100 times, I've never been able to do it. Oh, look at that, I could never run a marathon. So if you go back to that perspective thing that you were talking about, Carren, it's even more than what comes out of your own eyes. It's all your old beliefs, all your old expectations, all those old patterns and habits. So you don't even see out of your eyes. It's like there's this big filter, and it's dark grey, or it's somebody who's got rose-coloured glasses on. You know, we've had that metaphor around forever. So there are some people who are, in fact, genetically more likely to be optimistic, to be more hopeful, to see themselves succeeding, and to see rose-coloured glasses. And then there are others that's black. It's not going to work. The cup is empty. It's not even half empty. It's empty. Yeah, but what about that water in there? Nah, it's nothing. It's a drop. And so I think if people start to become conscious of how they operate and what their habits and patterns are, then they step back a little and go, well, that's just a habit and that's just a pattern. And if they listen to the story they're telling themselves, because it ain't the truth, I'm sure you guys have talked about that many times.
No, we've actually been talking about it recently. The bloody stories and excuses, and it is just another story to confirm what your beliefs are anyway.
Yeah.
So let's just make up another story, but it's actually not made up. It's actually they've just weaved that into their confirmation. Yeah,
it becomes like a justification.
I don't know what it is, but it seems to keep them stuck. It keeps them stuck in that whole realm that they're in, no matter what that stuck place is.
Well, we've all got the stories, though. You've got stories, that's why I'm not good enough, I'm not worth loving. So before you're 5, those 3 fears, one or more of the fears are embedded. And no matter how great your parents are, they're embedded somehow. Some more than others, some to a greater degree than others. And so the story becomes, I'm not worth loving. I mean, my dad was an alcoholic and my parents split up when I was 5. And seriously, I thought I had a perfect childhood. Like, I don't remember anything. I don't remember a thing past 9. Maybe not even 9, really. Nothing. 0 zip. I just remembered I had a great childhood. So that's my perspective, right? And because my mum loved me, I was the favourite child. I knew I was the favourite child. And if you're the favourite child out there, you know that you're the favourite child. No, and if you weren't the favourite child, you know as well. You started off behind the 8 ball, blame your parents. And, but suck it up now.
Yeah, and deal with it. At some point
point, you have to stop blaming them.
Yes, exactly. And it's always your the truth is, most people do have a favourite. Anyway, so I was a favourite child. I thought I was...
My brother was a favourite. We call him Golden Bollocks, and we still call him Golden Bollocks?
Yeah.
Golden Bollocks.
Yeah.
GB. Yeah, carry on.
GB, nice. And so I really thought it was perfect until I started to find out, when I was about 53, 52 maybe, that things weren't, rosy in all camps, and I wondered why my relationships were repeating through similar patterns, and I wasn't long without a boyfriend, but then I think I'd fall madly in love, and I'd think they loved me, and then it would all crash and burn, and I'd smoke 800 cigarettes for a week, and then I'd stop again and start again, and, like with the relationships. And one day I was at a client's place, and I never go to clients' houses at night. This was in America. And I was in her kitchen. She didn't have much in the kitchen. I'm trying to make conversation, and I saw this black book. So I pick it up, and I start flipping through the black book, which stunned, and I kept going, and then I flipped to another page. And this book had me it was just me. It was about me. And I said, what is this book? And she said, that's the Al-Anon Bible. Now, if you don't know what that is, Alcoholics Anonymous has another version called Al-Anon, which is for people affected by alcoholics. Yeah. So that was the first time I started to get these 3 core fears, where I realised I felt... and then I found out after my mum died that she had actually had to leave us in India for a year because she was sick and she couldn't get the treatment in India. But I didn't remember that. I didn't know. I'm sure they didn't say to us, things happen. Because when my parents divorced when I was 5, Mum said to us, very wisely, I think, there wasn't enough room in our house for Daddy.
That's so cute.
We had a house that's now a wedding reception centre. Seriously, I'm not exaggerating.
So it was huge.
It's a massive.
And there wasn't enough room for Daddy.
No, but what do I know? I'm
exactly.
5. I'd go to school. I'd go, no, there's not enough room in our house for Daddy, and they go, okay, let's play. So it's like nothing. And it wasn't until I was 53 that I finally got. I didn't feel I was worth loving. I got the trifecta, actually, and I felt unsafe around an alcoholic father who used to get abusive, apparently, and I didn't. I felt abandoned with Mum going. So, I didn't go and dwell on these for the next 40 years and go, it's all their fault and I'm such a mess, blah, blah, blah. But becoming conscious of those fears allowed me to start to see patterns and habits, which then allowed me to start working on things differently.
We're quite egocentric human beings. We think it's all about us. The more I listen and the more we do podcasts, the more I go, this person has a fear around this one's worried about that one, this one's had that. We've all got stories. We've all got experiences, and we've all got...
Cellular memory.
Cellular memory, absolutely. So to me, it's like, there's not a case of whether you were brought up by an amazing health-conscious family or whether you were brought up by an alcoholic father. It's what you do with that information when you hit a certain point.
But once you recognise what you got...
When do you recognise it? Or do some people never recognise it?
Well, they listen to a podcast like this and they start to think about it. Or they read one of our books. Or, it's all through the Joy's an Inside Job book.
Which is a fabulous book, by the way.
Thank you.
Just saying.
Just finished the rewrite, 2nd edition.
Oh, how exciting.
Yes, well, maybe once I get through the 47th
You're doing that while renovating? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a great Christmas. Anyway, so I think the recognition comes when you're so sick of patterns in your life and you start to think there must be more to life than this. That was the other thing I was going to say. When you were saying we're egocentric, yes, we are, but we're even more so when we're 5 or less. And everything that happens to us is because of us. We are the cause of a divorce or whatever. I mean, just face it, that's how 5-year-olds think. And 4-year-olds and 3-year-olds. And maybe 9-year-olds. And so it's critical. The parents have that consciousness too. But in the book, my mum helped me write the book, so I say Mum told me these things. But really, they say that the secret to joy is to, 1, connect to God or source or divine or universe or your higher self or whatever you want to call it in that spiritual context. That's the most critical thing, because when you connect with that, then you start to see who you really are, and you start to feel that you're worth loving, and you start to have faith in yourself, those sorts of things. And the second is to serve others. So it takes that focus away from you, because once you're connected to the spiritual realms or the higher realms, it's so difficult because, if you say God, people go, oh, she's a religious nut. And if you don't say God, the religious people go, well, she's a spiritual nut. And so let's try not to be judgmental. Anybody listening to this, stop with the judgment. And,
just talking about judgment, I just love Byron Katie when she says,
isn't she awesome?
Welcome to planet Earth. We all judge. Just get over it.
It's so true.
It is.
We do.
And, I was just at a Qigong retreat in November, and for the last 745 times I've been there, he said it's really important to be kind and positive. And I'm sitting there next to Rachel, who's my great friend there, and we're sitting there going, yes, kind and positive. That's it this year. I'm really going to be kind and positive. Really going to be kind and positive. Not a word is coming out of my mouth. No thought without kind and positive. 2 seconds later, I'm looking at someone going, wow, that's a really weird outfit. But I caught myself. And that's how you do it. I think you become conscious, you listen to things like this, you read the books, you start to notice habits and patterns, and then you have to catch yourself.
That's the key, is catching yourself, because you can help people. Like, often we'll have people ask us questions. How do we do it? What do we do? How do we keep doing it? And you'll tell them what you do, and they go away and they go, great, and they cross their fingers and hope it's going to work, but it doesn't. And then they come back and they say, well, no, I've done this and I tried that and I've done this and it still didn't work. And so you give them another set of tools or another set of ideals, and they go away, and then they come back. And then you realise they're telling the same story every single time. It's the same pattern, the same thing.
Well, if they don't change the loop, nothing's going to change. And the story creates
How do you
loops.
change the loop? Or is it our responsibility to try and help them change the loop? Or do we just go, oh my gosh, she hasn't got the loop, she's not in the loop? When you get in the loop, it'll be nice.
She doesn't know she's in the loop.
But you think about that, like every time you go and hear a motivational speaker or you go and hear something amazing, and even in business, as speakers, you're sharing amazing information with people, and they might walk away for a day or 2 days or 2 weeks or 2 months, but then they go back to their old habituated ways of being. So they get stuck back into the same loop and using the same story, because the human has to be right, so they'll find a way to justify their behaviour and make themselves right about it.
No, you just triggered something when you said that. I talk to people about FARCing. So everybody keep breathing. It's spelled FARC. And it's an acronym or a mnemonic or whatever you call those things for a recipe for change. And the F stands for focus. The A stands for awareness. The R is repetition and the C is celebration. So if you want to change a behaviour,
get FARC.
First of all, you get FARC. You have to do a lot of FARCing. Pretty much constant FARCing. And,
get FARC.
Did you just say the actual word?
I said fuck. I was telling you how to do it.
Oh.
I'm very sorry to any Americans listening to this, because I know some of you can be sensitive about these things, and honestly it is spelled FARC. FARC.
But then if you're Ruth, who works downstairs, who's English, she'll just say fook.
Well, it could be too.
That's if she was saying the other word, Missy Moo. I'm sure she would say that.
So let's just go back
We should bring her up and ask her.
Yeah.
Yes, let's get back to the
that's
parking.
right. And so that we don't upset anyone else. It's a very liberal audience listening to this.
Sorry,
so,
everybody. Yes,
first
it was
one.
the tart.
It was all Kim's fault.
It was.
No, it wasn't.
Or we just blame Kim anyway.
Oh,
Just go with it.
Just go with it, Amanda.
Oh, right,
Just
sorry.
go with it.
No, I mean,
That
it
was
goes
your
to
fault.
you.
Yeah,
No,
sorry.
it's me. I like
Blame
that you
me.
said no.
Yeah, that's right. Fantastic. It's my fault. I'm the newbie. So,
No.
F
Always blame
for
Kim.
Pass
focus.
the buck.
Yeah, pass the buck. There you go. Why take responsibility for yourself?
When you can give it to somebody else.
And that's why Byron Katie calls it the work. Because if you're going to make any changes, you have to do the work. It doesn't just happen. It takes consistent...
Oh, and maybe that's the same as people that want their fit, healthy, lean, toned body.
Tomorrow?
Oh, that's right, yes. You can't just go into the gym and buy those biceps or those glutes.
Yeah.
You have to work for them. Really.
And you just can't work for a week or 2 weeks. It's a lifetime.
But, be careful, because that some listeners would listen to that, although they like you all, and they would be really upset by that because, they'll be thinking they're trying really hard to do it. And the truth is they probably are. But because every time they go to the gym, they see all these other lean bodies, and it's torture for them, and it's agony, and they're breathless, and they feel shamed, and... inadequate, and it just reinforces the fact that they're not worth loving, so they don't go back, or they're not good enough.
Or they'll go and eat a tub of ice cream afterwards.
Because they feel like crap, because they don't feel like they're... What's the point? So, you see, if you're talking about motivation, if we tie it back to motivation, it's almost like you have to give people permission. First of all, you have to give them some kind of... raise their consciousness. So to help them understand where they really are. So get that asteroid view or spaceship, what do you call it?
Satellite.
Thank you, satellite view. That satellite view. And get them to see that it's not all about them rolling around in their quagmire, that they are telling themselves a story, that it's not the truth. It's actually not reality. That was my reality when I was little, that I was frightened. And, with alcoholics, you never know what their mood is going to be. But on the other hand, I'm brilliant at building rapport, even if I say so myself, because I am. And I'm 60, and I know I am. Because I've been told it about 500 times over the years. So now we've told it off.
You're in the loop.
And also it helps how people tell you good things about yourself, by the way. So if you can get yourself a few friends who are a bit more optimistic out there, these three already have each other.
We do.
If you guys can find a few optimistic friends, don't hang around people who are negative energy sucking wallies. They're just going to suck you of life force, and they'll all talk about... And I remembered one day, there's a bit... I know, just think menopause when I talk. And I remember when I was about 23, I was so full of life. I thought everything was wonderful. It was the best year. I was just finished physio. I loved my job. Men were fighting, literally, over me once. But it did happen. Yes, it did happen. And I wondered what was going on. I said, what about me? Why? So, and I think they mistook me for someone else. Anyway, and so I kept thinking to myself...
Did you choose one of them?
Yeah, I think so.
The winner?
Yeah.
Nice.
The dueling.
Yeah. The duel. Or maybe not, I can't remember. It's too long ago, but they were fighting, I know that. And anyway, so I started to think, stop it, menopause is hard enough to be distracted by these other things. And I can do some of it, just not a lot of it, for 3 or 4 times. Now, back to, at 23, where I thought life was wonderful, I kept thinking, gosh, everybody's so unhappy. They're so miserable. They've got so many problems. Everybody's got so many problems. And one day I woke up and I realised it was because I was walking around to everybody going, hi, tell me your problems. What's wrong with your life? Gosh, what else could be wrong in your life? But I had to wake up to realise that.
That's exhausting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it took a long time, and it wasn't until I realised everybody on the planet was miserable. There must be some reason. But it wasn't that, of course. It was that I was facilitating that, looking through those tell me what's wrong with your life classes. But see, if you FARC, so once you have some consciousness, you can focus on the behaviours that you want to change. Mind you, you don't even have to be that conscious. If there are behaviours you want to change, you just have to focus on what is, because we're living lives, habits and patterns. You don't even know you're doing it. Yes. You don't know that you're going to the gym for the 14th time or you're starting the diet for the 700th time. You just don't know that you're going into this diet. You think you're committed to it, but deep down you've got a little voice story going, no, you're fat. You've always been fat. You're going to be fat forever. That's it. You're just fat. Face it. All the F's. No. So you've got to start to challenge it. So then you might focus on the stories you're telling yourself, because that's what you want to change, and start to write down the stories, because once you develop awareness of the stories, of the patterns, of the habits, of the behaviours, then you can make a choice. So once you're aware of it, you can go, ding, do I want to judge? Do I want to judge myself? Do I want to think like this? Do I want to tell myself the same story again? Or do I want a different story? Now all this happens in a nanosecond. But in the beginning, like Byron Katie says, you have to do the work. It's not easy.
No.
You have to.
And most people don't want to ask. Most people are happy to tell you all their shite, all their stuff going on and wrong and everything, but they're not prepared to say, what do you think I should do about it? They don't actually sit there often and say, what am I doing? Or asking for help. Or
because it's a reality that they think that they're stuck with.
Or they tell
that's their way of being, so they don't have another frame of reference, so they don't know how to be another way. So they just tell you the story and say, I got blown up, and that's my story. So I don't have another way of being. So,
or they tell 10 people, about their story,
and all 10
hoping,
go, that's terrible.
Yes.
or hoping that one of them will give them the answer that they really do want, which is, why don't you just stay in your story and wallow in it? Really, because that's what. If you tell 10 people about your story, you're kind of going, you're wallowing in it. Like you're just intensifying the story.
Well,
Say
that's
you're
very
okay to
interesting
have
you
that
say
story.
that, Cyndi, because I got taken to the cleaners, which is why I went to the States. So I had $500,000 worth of debts, nearly had to go bankrupt, but didn't. Went to the States, and bless America for helping me earn the money back. But when I got over there, I would tell every person and their dog, oh, yeah, I got taken to the cleaners and blah, 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 and it was this story and that story. And people go, oh, that's terrible. Oh, that's awful. And one day, the family I was living with, the guy said to me, you know, you tell that story everywhere you go. Well, interestingly, me, misconscious, not back then, said, I do not, Vince. I do not say that to everybody. Well, yes, I did. And it took someone with a bit of courage to say to me, but I arced up against it. So I suspect most people who are telling the story, if someone says to them, you know, that's the 927th time you told that story, and it's not really a positive story, and I don't want to hear it again, people will get upset because they've got nothing to replace it with.
And who are they without the story?
And that's where you have to go back to real consciousness, the core fears of who you are or who you aren't, and somehow embedding in the children. And that's what the Joy Project, I'm hoping, is going to achieve.
What is your Joy Project about? Tell us.
Well, it's based on the book, and hopefully we're going to have gazillions of joy tribes around the world, which is really a fancy name for book clubs. And but it's a bit more than a book club, because a book club, you just read a book and you discuss it. Well, the Joy Tribe book is, well, Joy is an inside job. It gives you 84 days worth of different exercises. Or you can make it 84 weeks, or you can make it 84 months. But there's a daily activity. So you as a group would get together, and let's face it, it's going to be mostly women, but maybe not. Maybe there'll be some really great guys out there who do it. Or
Farked
I'm
up
hoping, men who are willing to fark, if ARC. Or it's a family. So, you know, a mother with children who are your age, Kim's.
Young.
Yes.
Amazingly beautiful.
Yes, amazingly beautiful with an incredible mother. You would work the way through the book. Because who teaches children concepts like gratitude? Who teaches concepts like compassion, reverence, hope, forgiveness? We don't talk about them. You don't actually tease them out. You know, we teach them gratitude by saying, say thank you to your brother.
Yeah.
I said, say thank you to your brother. Say thank you to your brother. And then you slap them. And that's gratitude. Okay.
Do you know, I am so with you on that. We are not teaching in schools or at home the right concepts. And I'm reading a book at the moment called Death by Food Pyramid. And this is what she says. She says the reality is that most of us grow up strapped in an educational system that favours obedience over independent thinking. We're rewarded for trusting authority and punished for challenging it. We focus on memorising the stuff other people came up with, formulas in math, grammar, rules in English, theories in physics, cell functions in biology, rather than grasping the logic behind our most important breakthroughs and tracing the footsteps of their discovery. We answer test questions with what we think our teacher wants to hear. We chase grades instead of knowledge, and worst of all, we leave the classroom woefully unequipped with the thinking skills that matter most. How to balance open-mindedness and with scepticism, how to identify bias, and how to challenge assumptions, including our own, in a way that's truly objective. And what I think the education system's got to change. We've got to change as parents as to what we're teaching. Like, I my kids are in their 20s now, and I thought I knew a lot back then about teaching them the skills of life, and I feel I'm woefully inadequate with it. I really do.
But then who teaches... I mean, nobody taught me about those 3 fears. I worked them out with a great deal of pain and heartache and hard work. And thankfully I didn't have children. I mean, I'm devastated I didn't, but thankfully for the children's sake I didn't, because who knows what they would have been like. Because I certainly wasn't a balanced, sensible, wise human being back then. But
are we as new mothers? I don't think so.
But if we knew about those core fears before, like my assistants had a baby, I have drummed these fears into her head. I do things like I'll hear a young mother who's exhausted going, "Oh, stop it, you're such a naughty boy." And I will do things like, "You're not really a naughty boy, you're a wonderful little boy. It's just that you do naughty things sometimes. You're really a wonderful little boy." Or it's like, "Oh, you're always sick." No, you're not always sick. You're just sick at the moment. You're really a healthy little boy. You're just amazing.
Crazy aunt.
Yeah. And I swear I did that with my nieces and nephews. But people aren't aware.
No.
And the Joy Project is trying to get people to the point where they see these things, and it's written in those chapters so that as you develop that sense of gratitude, which is the foundation pillar for joy, and you start to look at life with gratitude glasses on, so it changes everything you look at. But then if you teach that to children, when a child is bullied at school or something horrible happens, you come home and you have permission when they're younger than a teenager to say, let's put our gratitude glasses on. You know, I know that hurt, and I acknowledge their feelings. That was very scary, because it's always scary, even though they don't say it's scary. And let's put the gratitude glass on. What's something we can be grateful for that happened during that? You try that with a teenager, they'll punch you. But you can do it with a younger kid. So if people would work their way through the book, through the various chapters, as parents, and do it with the children and make games and things out of it, then all of them are starting to learn those. You know, there's 12 parts. I didn't know. This mum helped me write the book, and I didn't know anything about joy. I'm still on a learning curve. But it's, you know, gratitude, compassion, reverence, hope, listening, laughter, cheerful enthusiasm. Did I say reverence?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Did I say energy and vitality?
No.
Oh, energy and vitality, equanimity, and love. Oh, oops. Oops. That would be the biggest one for the best, the last.
Yeah.
And so all of those, we don't talk about them. And all through the book, the fears are listed. You know, like it says in the Bible, I don't know, 365 times or something, fear not. Because we're all living lives with habits and patterns ruled unconsciously by fear. And if you don't remember anything else, remember that, because that's going to be the core source of whether you're motivated or not to do anything. Wow. Or change anything. Well, that's my opinion anyway.
So the book is, it's not the Joy Project, the one I've got.
No, you've got the Gospel of Joy, but I've
got the Gospel
done
of
the
Joy.
second edition, and I've called it Joy as an Inside Job, because nobody liked the Gospel of Joy.
I love
And it's
it.
more
I
accurate to
did.
be
Joy is an inside job. And is it out?
No.
Oh.
It will be soon.
Good. Well, let us know.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
Yeah, let us know, and we'll let everybody know. That it's out, 'cause I want it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like
About a
going.
month.
I think
It's very similar. It's just that I've updated it, you know, changed the energy and vitality chapter in a lot of ways, and put a lot more in about the fears. Because I learned, you know, it was 5 years ago, 4 years I wrote it, so I've learned a lot about FARCing and stuff.
See, I think you could do this. Like my children are 20-year-olds, and we'll sit round to dinner, and the conversation's always interesting, I have to admit, around it. And I would bring these things up because we often talk. Now we talk about these things, and my kids are really open to it. So I don't know about teenagers. They're a little bit different to the 20-year-olds who are starting to maybe become conscious and really thinking about it. And the little ones. So, yeah, I don't think it's too late to even do it as a conversation than we get together.
Well, I think you frame it. You use different language at different stages.
They're having children in the not too distant future, scarily enough. Yeah. But you know, so you want to do it with them because they want to be and you frame it with be the best parent you can.
But I think there's even room for that, not having kids either. I think there's even room for that from a business perspective too. Yeah. You know, there's this huge movement now in corporate and in leadership training and corporate training around like androgynous management and androgynous leadership. I don't know why I'm struggling to get my tongue around that today. But it's about being able to balance the masculine and the feminine in business, whereas the woman has always got to be very dynamic in order to cut her teeth and compete in a corporate environment. And it's very yesterday. It's very, very yesterday, which is why we can't sustain it long term, you know. And I think that this kind of what you're talking about, enjoy as an inside job, and also the first one that you wrote, I've got that one. And a lot of the principles in terms of what I do in my business and what I even offer my clients is around that kind of philosophy and mentality. But unless the joy is present, the human can't function because we're not just a skin bag of skills, we're a human being.
Well,
you know?
Yeah, well, a spiritual one inside the human body.
And if people got this,
Beautiful.
my gosh, there'd be so much more happiness. or joy. You know, I was talking to this guy yesterday, and I had just gotten off out of my swim, and he was having a shower, and I was having a shower, you know, like in the open showers, and he said, "Isn't it great to be alive?"
Yeah.
And I went, "Yeah, you know, every time I come down here, I go, oh my gosh, I live here. I live in this amazing place." And he said to me, "Do you know, I've been a real estate agent for 15 years. And I've sold real estate to people, say, 8, 10 years ago. They've never put their feet in the sand.
Wow.
Really?
And they're complaining about life." And I just went, all you have to do is go down, you know, like you can actually do this anywhere. Like you can go out into a desert and look at the magnificence of a desert. It doesn't matter where you are, in a mountain, in the ocean, when the sun is shining, like a beautiful tree. It doesn't matter. And this is the thing, is that people, I think they're expecting life to give them what they want instead of them saying, well, what am I going to give life? As you said, we must serve, connect to God. And I think when you're in nature, the sand, the beach, the mountains, the clouds, you're with God.
One with everything.
You are. You connect with a magnificence. And then if your goal is to then go and serve others, and rather than, what did JFK say? Ask not what you can do for your country, but what for you can...
Ask not what your country
can do for you.
What you can do for your country.
Really
see, part of that is your gratitude or reverence.
Yeah.
I mean, do you look around you every day with reverence and awe and wonder at the people who are around you? Or do you look at them and go,
"Oh, yeah, he's such a difficult person. Oh, boy, I hate living with you."
yeah, you don't look. Just look for one good thing. Let's give them some practical skills to finish up with.
let's.
Look for one good thing in the people that you don't like. Just one good thing. And focus, FARC, on that one good thing so that you have a completely different perspective on them. When you look at them, all you're looking at is the good thing. So I don't care what it is, just one good thing.
They could also be the person that you're looking at in the mirror, perhaps.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yes.
It's a great idea.
Nice.
Because quite a lot of people don't even have one good thing about themselves, do they?
One of the things that, or two of the things that you have said that has really struck a chord with me is the fear factor and loving yourself. Because if you have a great relationship with yourself...
Can I just clarify
Yes.
that? And feeling you are worth loving, or that you are lovable. Some people, I had the most, until last year, till November last year, I could not say and feel okay, I am lovable. Sorry, go on. I just want to put that in there so they had that.
It's good.
Wow.
Keep going.
Are we going to question her on this one, Carren?
Yes.
Yes, okay, let's
Yeah,
go.
but let her finish the sentence first for the listeners.
Well, one of the things I listened to Anita Morjani last year, and we've spoken
She's
about,
amazing.
I just loved her. And they were the two things she said, was live a fearless life. So from that minute, I actually do feel like I do love myself. I respect my body. I won't put anything into it I don't want to. I do things that I enjoy doing, such as... See, to me, it's the motivation that I love to get up in the morning and do what I do. It's not because I'm fearful of the fact I'm going to die of cancer if I don't do it. This is what I love to do. This is why I do what I do. I do it because I love it. And anyway, she said, you know, live a fearless life. And I went, yeah, I live a fearless life. So I ticked both boxes. But what was really interesting is as every day passed... and I became conscious of fear, I realised I didn't live a fearless life.
No.
I actually lived in a lot of fear of a lot of things, and now I'm conscious of it. I catch myself when I'm going through this fear factor. Like
When the story, because a fear is always a story.
and it is a story.
You're not worth, you better not do that because you're not good enough.
What were some of your fears?
Well, the little ones are like Brogan might go out and I'll hear an ambulance, and the fear will be, is he all right? That's a fear. That shouldn't be there. Might be... I ran into Carren the other day. I had just gone for a swim and the cyclone was nearby, and so the waves were huge. I got in a bit of an eddy, which I assumed was a rip, and I gave myself so much fear. I gave myself the worst migraine that I've ever experienced. And when I saw Carren, I was a mess.
Well, that's a legitimate thing, though, really. I wouldn't beat yourself up over that fear. Like when you're caught in something that's potentially life-threatening,
but it wasn't.
But what Cindy's
it was my
conversation-
story around that it was.
Oh.
But also Cindy's conversation with me once she had it, that had already occurred, but that then made her fearful to go back into the water. She was still going.
Oh, okay.
She was still going back into the water. And what I said to her, I said, how many times have you swam? She said, hundreds of times. So I said, it's interesting, isn't it, that we'll remember the one time where it was a little unpleasant as opposed to the 99 times that it was perfect. And the one time that was a little unpleasant is the most debilitating experience that stops the progress.
We haven't got a lot of time, and you made me realise, if you can drop to your heart, which is one of the techniques in the book, it's not very hard, you just think about the area around your heart and get into your heart, because the heart isn't just a pump, it's the most astonishing alchemical vessel. It's truly alchemical. It'll take fears and turn them into peace. And if you live from your heart and you don't judge, and you're pretty enlightened really if you live from your heart the whole time, but anyway, you can aim, you can FARC, you can FARC on working. And the C we didn't talk about, the R is repetition, by the way, and the C is celebration. So it's very important for the brain, if you're going to change something and embed it, you have to celebrate even the small changes. So if you can get to your heart, the first time you get to your heart and you feel it, you feel this peace, celebrate. Do a little joy jig or something, because that'll embed that memory, because it'll be a pleasant memory, not one of those frightening ones that goes zoom straight into your amygdala and straight into your the rest of your cellular memory. So if you can get to your heart, then you transform everything. So people you don't like, put them inside this vessel that you imagine to be your heart. It's an enormous space once you get in there. So you do it's like a 2-second meditation. You just drop, or imagine you've got a little chute going from the middle of your head down to the middle of your heart. And this is all in the book too. And you slide, you see a mini you sliding down. And you land in this gentle, soft, velvet, huge... Anyway, that was the experience for me. It was a vast, vast, incredibly blissful place that was like illuminated velvet. And before I did this exercise, I go, yeah, right, okay, going to drop to the heart, yeah, right, okay. And I thought it would be a complete waste of time. And all of a sudden, I'm in this vast, beautiful space, go, wow, this is so cool. And peaceful. So that's really one of the cause to motivation as well, seeing that's what we're talking about. And feeling good about yourself, because in the heart, it's the portal for love.
I love that. I think that's just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I think you've really captured it.
Yeah, and notice, even in the room,
It's calm.
energetically, we've all just gone very peaceful, because we've all just done the little
Drop to your
parachute
heart
down into the other side.
Karen's heart's on a
Into the liver.
right into the liver, which is the seat of compassion, apparently. So that's good. Go and sit in the seat of compassion.
Good place to
Except
go.
most of us store our anger in our liver too. It's not so good. Anyway, so
So I know we haven't got a lot of time, but I want to ask, you are one of the world's most renowned speakers. You have you've created an art out of public speaking. Where are you speaking next? Are you around Australia, or are you off to America again?
well, I might be going to the States in April, but it's a bit of a big trip. So I'm going in September, October. I go every September, October anyway. Sometimes I go for odd trips, but mostly around Australia.
Is your work mainly corporates, or is it open to the public? Is there ways that people can hear you?
So far, it's corporates. If you three can inspire me by teaching me how to do the stuff you're doing, then I would be doing more of that. But right now, no, it's just corporate. So organised. But it's interesting. Just recently, I've done quite a lot of work with rural areas that have had horrendous times, trying to helping them out, and those people are so resilient, but they're so beaten up. And they just need a bit of a shift, just an opportunity to come and laugh when they haven't laughed in a long time. And never underestimate the power of laughter. It's one of the chapters in the book. And you can go from being death door type stuff. These people have had, in Mandabra, floods, bushfires, earthquakes. I don't even think we had earthquakes up there. And they've had
Drought.
And drought. Yeah. So seriously, I think they had an earthquake, a size 6 earthquake. Then they had a flood, which took out everything. Then they just started rebuilding themselves again, and a fire came through. Then they just rebuilt themselves again, and they had another massive flood. And drought on top of it. So
Time to move?
Yeah, they're a mess. All their citrus crops destroyed, then start again. Anyway, so just that one opportunity for them to actually get out of the hole they were in, laugh, change their spirit. When you laugh, you change your spirit. And then
We had an
connect with
incident
each
the
other.
other night. You're so right. We were all watching the Olympics. It was great. We're just all lying there in the lounge, just watching and then all of a sudden, my husband just got up. He just did this dance, and he was trying to twerk and do this thing and shuffle, and the four of us were in hysterics. Just, like, I'm not kidding. We were all crying with laughter.
How wonderful.
At this moment, and to the point where you actually can't breathe.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling it as I'm talking about it, and then we're having breakfast the next morning. And what's so beautiful about laughter and having those moments is that you only have to think about that moment again to have the feeling come back.
Yes. Yep.
So I think that positive reinforcement and recreating those moments, or that's the beauty of girlfriends, I think, too, particularly because when we get together, we relive, and even if one of us has told the story 10 times before, it's funny,
you all laugh.
and we all laugh when we learn the story. Or the best thing about all of us speaking, particularly when we hear each other speak, is we know when the punchline's coming and what you love.
You hear Cindy
About
start
Cindy.
laughing
Cindy
early.
just starts laughing early, which then makes everyone laugh. So now they're even laughing before the joke's told.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant.
Yeah.
Now you look like an
Fantastic.
incredible comedian on stage. It's just wonderful. It's
Awesome.
amazing.
I reckon I'll be able to do that at one of your talks too. After watching on YouTube, I'll be laughing long before you even get to the punchline.
Amanda, you seriously are one of the most amazing public speakers.
I love
I would like to be
Absolutely.
you when I grow up. I do hope to have that
No,
ability.
you don't.
I think
You're funny too.
Very funny.
You are
You're
funny.
great.
You make but she's hilarious.
And there's Kim making faces at me, bragging,
What was
going,
this?
"Where, sucking? I'm funnier than you." We've got this running thing. Where
These women are not at all affected by fear, dear listeners. They have no sense of competition. There's no judgment happening
and we
anywhere.
never laugh.
Yeah. Truly enlightened women.
How hilarious.
And you release so many endorphins when you laugh.
Oh, you see, that's what I love about your talks. So people that they may not be able to travel to America to see you in September, but how can we get in touch with Amanda Gore? How do we find her books, her
Right, you're
information?
lovely, thank you. Well, it's amandagore.com. It's very easy. Or you
And that's
Gore.
Bingo.
And I say follow Gore with awe.
you just copied that off me.
I got it first.
His tart.
They're very, very competitive, just as an outsider, in case you haven't noticed.
Can you feel it?
Just a little
Can
competition.
you feel it? Tart.
I suspect that's part of the motivation.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Hi, my name's Kim Morrison. I'm a tart.
Yeah.
I'm a tip.
A tip.
A tart in progress.
I like
I'm a
that.
work in progress. I'm a tart
Oh,
in
God
progress.
knows you're beautiful enough to be a tart.
I'm the rock star, and this is the princess.
I'm the princess.
Oh,
so I'm the one that...
nice.
Yes. I'm the one with the heels, the hair, the...
Oh,
She's a pip, a rip, and a tip.
I love that. Well, everybody, start your own joy tribe with a pip, a tip, and a rip. Just work your way through the book and you'll be a jip.
Actually, you know what?
Joy
We're
and
going to
progress.
when the book comes out, actually, we're going to get it.
Yeah.
And we're going to work through one A.
What a great idea.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, we will.
Make
We'll
your
work
own little
through
joy
Will it be an
tribe.
ebook as well?
It will be.
Great. We're ready.
And then I don't know, we currently have an online learning program for it, but I'm just thinking I'm going to pull that on. I'll write something simpler.
So how many things are there?
12 chapters, but there's a
84?
daily activity for every chapter.
Oh my gosh, there's 84 weeks more of material.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, wow.
Stop, everybody's crying online. It's all right, they'll only do one every couple of months.
No, I think that's a really fabulous
I think
idea.
it'd be fun to do it. Yeah, to just pull the concept out and let's talk about the concept. And some of them we probably already spoken about. Have we done gratitude? We have, haven't we? How we do our gratitude journals?
Yeah, the gratitude journals. We did that a couple of we did that a couple of months
We've
ago
mentioned
now.
it. We haven't done a whole podcast on gratitude.
Gratitude.
If that's what you
Haven't
mean.
we?
Not a whole podcast.
Haven't we?
Haven't we?
I'm very grateful for the fact that I can't remember.
You've got two funny people going, haven't we?
And
I'm the one with menopause.
Yeah. But Kim is the one that writes everything down, has it in a folder, knows what we've done, how we've done it. She's that
I
organised
want one of you.
Yeah.
But not today.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were looking at it yesterday, last night.
No.
What'd you do with it?
It's in my bag.
There you go, see? I
organised,
told you.
we do.
Wowza.
Told you.
Good heavens. Well, this has been an amazing podcast, I think. I think it's been lots of fun. It's been very informative. And Amanda, it's been fabulous to have you.
Well, thank you, ladies, for the
Join
opportunity.
us. And you know, the best part is that you actually now are going to stay with us as we work through your book.
Yeah.
So everybody's going to get to know you really
And
well.
everybody get to join. They can buy the ebook themselves and work through it with you.
Isn't that fantastic?
I actually think it's great.
I think we'll go on the affiliate program, actually.
I think we should go on the affiliate program.
That's a great idea.
Yes, I think
I
we
just
will.
signed up to be a member on the affiliate thing. I've signed up for yours too.
Oh, did you?
Just found out what affiliates are. Everybody out there, this is the most exciting thing.
It
Like,
is.
you can sign up for this affiliate program. I had a lesson in it yesterday. I got very enthusiastic. And so you go into this place called Commission Factory or something,
Yeah.
and you sign up and you find fabulous products like Cindy's and another one called and Kim's.
and-
You're on there. They didn't tell me.
and
you're on there
Carren.
too. Oh, and Carren and
And Amanda Gore, it'll be soon.
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 Yes, soon. After I found out yesterday. And then all you guys out there in Radio Land, iPod, what do you call it? Podcast Land, you can sign up and then you can get discounts on any of the products. And then you get a commission.
Yeah, you make
That's
money
right.
on them.
You make money on it.
Yeah, yeah.
So by
if
just
you
by
think-
sharing what something you love, hello, you're making money. What you
Yeah,
see.
so if you love what you hear from you guys, they can just sign up. I didn't have any idea.
I make
So
lots
they
of
just
money
sign
off her. I'm on her affiliate program.
She's our biggest affiliate.
Kim and Shani and Julius is my number 2 affiliate.
Wow.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, Shani and Julius are number 2. They're wanting to know who number 1 is. Number 1's way ahead of them, but that, don't tell them that.
Okay, let's just
Don't that just yet.
On that note,
Don't tell them.
It's on that note.
Yeah,
it's
they're
an
competitive.
hour. Yeah. Oh, unlike you guys. Don't tell them.
how hilarious. Okay, so we need to wind this up because we're over again this week, aren't we?
Yes.
What's new?
We've got
What else is new?
We've got fucking carried away.
Farking.
I said
Could
that.
you enunciate it? It's her New Zealand accent. I'm very sorry. We were focusing and being aware and repeating and celebrating.
Well, at least
That's
they
what
now
we
know what farking is.
Maybe we could have flarking, which includes laughing.
Focus.
Farking.
No,
Farking.
no,
I like the farking.
Yeah, farking.
Yeah, I like
Farking,
farking.
farking works. Farking
Yeah.
works.
Well, folks, keep on farking then. As we
And let's
ride
sum
off into
up
the sunset and
get
get a bit
farked.
joyful. Connect to God or the
priceless.
spiritual realms and serve others. And
It's
on
just
that note,
repeat
whilst
what
they're
is
all
farking.
talking amongst themselves, I'll just leave you with a very positive and sincere comment.
Somebody's got to do it, love.
Yes, that's right, because they're all on the floor laughing.
And
Celebration.
farking.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Bye. We're going now. See you next week.
Oh, this is cool. This is cool. So everybody, join us on our Facebook page and post your comments and let us know how much you love Amanda Gore as much as we love Amanda Gore at allthews.facebook.com/up-for-a-chat. Or you can also post your comments at allthews.thewellnesscouch.com/up-for-a-chat. And join us here next week and become part of the ripple effect that's changing the world. We are going to see you on the ride. Bye for now.
This has been a production of TheWellnessCouch.com. Check us out on Facebook and join in the conversation on Facebook.com/TheWellnessCouch. Subscribe to each show on iTunes and check us out on Twitter. The Wellness Couch, streaming wellness into your lives.
Whilst the Wellness Couch presenter endeavor to provide accurate and helpful information to their listeners, these podcasts cannot take into account individual circumstances and are not intended to be a substitute for health and medical advice from a qualified health professional. You should always seek the advice of a qualified health professional before acting on any of the information provided by any of the Wellness Couch podcasts.